I was fortunate to meet Mr. Rainer Bernhard, Director Research and Development Horology at Van Cleef Arpels, who has been with the Maison for the last 12 years.
12 years for a luxury brand is long enough. And where were you before?
Before I was Piaget. 5 years.
Piaget?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Before I was in Piaget, and before that I was working in France in a company that belongs to the Airbus group.
Okay.
And even before that, I'll go way in the past now, I was working in the US in 2 different startups.
Okay.
Fiber optical business.
Okay. But the role was different out there?
Yeah, the role was always, yes, it's a little bit different. It comes with experience, comes also more responsibility, but it was always centered, focused on mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
I'm a mechanical engineer, so this is what I studied, this is what I live, what I love. Since the very early years, I analyze toys, I get them, I open them, I look into that, I repair them. So it was always, mechanical engineering was always with me.
Okay.
And that's my passion.
So when you joined, I think Alhambra was already a part
Yes.
of the brand.
Oh yes.
After, because Alhambra is.
Oh yeah.
So from there, Pearly, and then to Poetic Complications and high jewelry watches in Van Cleef Arpels home. It has it all. Will you be able to take our audiences through these magical creations?
Well, we can start with let me start with the high jewelry pieces.
Yeah.
We developed them together with the atelier in Paris, of course, because the high jewelry part is made in France, and we add the watchmaking part. So this is an awesome collaboration, and actually this is for me the first part of the blending of watchmaking and high jewelry. So in the high jewelry pieces, like the Ludo available with the emeralds, for example, we brought out last year, we can see that. It's just a piece of high jewelry that tells time. So we talk about jewelry that tells time, and that's really it.
Jewelry that tells time.
Exactly.
Okay. But from the time you conceive an idea, I would not go back to inspiration, but I will say from the time you conceive the idea till the time finally the product hits the market, what is the journey like? Like how far it can go, how long it can take? Yeah,
if we talk about the poetic complication, for example, like Art Floral, it's 5 years of work.
5 years.
But in this time, there's quite a while in there to actually to talk about the idea, to refine the idea. You know, there's a basic idea, but then you have to actually start to work. You have to, with us and the creative studio, so development and creative studio, there is a constant discussion about how we should do it. First sketches, first elements, technical elements, and then we say, okay, can you do this? Can you do that? And so it actually gets more and more precise as we go. I would say development is like traveling.
Development is like traveling.
Yeah.
Why do you say so?
Because you have an idea in your mind, you have a story in your mind.
Yes.
You want to go there to this destination, but you don't know exactly how to go there. Because, like if I talk about Art Floral, technically this watch has never been done. There is nowhere to look at how we can solve the problems. Nothing to look at. So we've been in the invention, totally in the invention. So you have this idea to go somewhere, and sometimes you have to go back, sometimes you go left, sometimes you go right. So it's not a straight line, it's not an autobahn that you drive, but it's actually a little path, and you actually go this path, and which is actually really nice actually to develop. And I would say the engineering tools and sketches, wax models, washes, also CAD models, simulations, calculations, all these are tools to travel. So they bring you, they advance you. So we use all these tools, traditional tools, handmade models, handmade brushes, but also very high-tech tools, and all this together helps us to advance and then go finally to the finished product.
Has there been any such product line which you must have come far? Like you said, 5 years approximately, but it can even take 2 years. It can take even 7 years.
No, it doesn't take 2 years.
Always 5 years?
For a poetic complication, 2 years is
2
not
years
possible.
is not possible.
No.
It has to be minimum 5 years.
No, it's not. No, we don't take 5 years and we say it has to be 5 years. But how we understand the product, we always want to create new stories. So we
Sure.
actually go really far. We go into, so the degree of novelty and the complexity which is associated to get the perfect blending of high jewelry and watchmaking, and also the blending of craftsmanship and fine watchmaking.
Correct.
This takes time. So we don't force it. Like I say, for the Heures Florales, you need time to read the time, and you need the time to develop the product also. So in the average, it's like 4 and 5 years, you know. So 2 years for a new poetic complication is no way.
But has there been a project where you have come far and then decided that we'll not be able to, we scrap it totally? Any such moment in your 12 years?
Very rarely, because when we have something in mind, we perceive. We don't stop directly when you have the first problems, you know. So we find another way to do it. And when we're convinced with the story, we really try hard to go there. And in the most of the time we can get there, but it happens rarely that we say, okay, no, this is maybe not as we thought it would be. So this is quite rare.
Every year Van Cleef & Arpels has not failed to introduce every exhibition of Watches and Wonders, which was earlier called SIHH, a piece, a collection that is absolutely out of the world. Now, I understand that the work would begin much ahead of time. So are we saying that it would have, like for 2028 you must be already preparing, or 2027 you are already there? Is that true?
What I can say is that a lot of things go on at the same time. So we have projects that are in different degrees of advancement. So of course, I will present next year in 24. Of course, you can imagine that. Yes, it's already on the table internally, right? For 25, yes, it's well advanced. 26, 27, and and we have many ideas, and then we choose what ideas to work on. So there's a lot of things in the pipeline.
That brings to me to the next question: that how do you design? I mean, how do you think what kind of design will be the future, or what design will work in 2027 or 28 or 20? How do you do that research? How do you get your inspiration for that design? Because it's like you're working for 27 and 28. You already know what it should look like. The design, in terms of design.
The design, yeah, first of all, the inspirations, it's easy for us because the inspirations, they come out of a couple of fields that we love.
Can you elaborate?
Yes. These fields are very much filled with ideas. For example, the company based on a love story. Love is still a very powerful element that we bring forward. Poetic astronomy, very important for us. The enchanting nature. Oh, what a great source of ideas. Fashion. So we have different aspects. Luck. So and there's so many ideas. Time to time a little bit hidden. So we do some research. We think about it. We talk a lot. We discuss. And ideas are generated within the team, and are there. So you have to work to find them, but as we stay within our fields, and the fields are rich.
Is there be a challenging design that you can think of?
Well, we really start with the story. So it's not it's not the other way around, so that the engineering department develops some cool technique and then we try to find a story that goes with that. Never ever. It really starts with a story. For the Art Floral, for example, it was the idea of Linné to create this garden whereas flowers indicate the time being open or not. So this was really the starting point. And then we go ahead and there are the different phases which all have their own challenges and also their own beauty. When you're very at the beginning, it's amazing the discussion that you can have around the story. So what do we want in there? What can we put in? What do we want to not put in there, right? So, and then you go into the design phase where you start doing the architectural design of the watch. Like an architect who designs the house, we do the same. We put down the functions, different technical functions, the aesthetical functions. And then when we're satisfied, with this, then we go further and then we develop really each individual part, till at one point we can create the first prototypes. But at the same time, we talk about colors, we talk about métier, we talk about with our ateliers, the artists that work in our ateliers in Mera say, okay, I need a specific green here. What can you do? What type of green can you do here? And I need this shape in enamel. Can you do that? So, and everything happens at the same time, and this is actually wonderful. So, I wouldn't actually take out one phase which is more difficult than the other. So they all have their own challenges and their own beauty. Yes, absolutely.
You say own beauty, so challenges also has beauty. Is that
yes,
what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Think about it. We can together with an awesome team develop amazing pieces. So this already is an immense motivation. So when you go further and when you start to work on it, there's excitement, and then when you have the first drawings that come out and you say, okay, let's do this. After many discussions, I say, let's do this. And everybody's like, yeah, this is awesome. And then you keep on going, and then when the first CAD drawings come out, when the first the final gouache comes out, the first prototypes, these are all exciting moments, So this is really. This is fun. Developing products is fun, and it's
passion.
It's not only the final product, but it's also the path to go there. We talk a lot, we learn a lot, and oh my God, is this amazing?
Yes, I
Yes,
can
absolutely.
see.
Yes, absolutely.
I can feel your passion, is all I
Yes,
can
yes.
say. But when it comes to automaton,
Yes.
the automaton that you display at, again, Watches and Wonders, they are spectacular.
Thank you.
How do you, say, one cannot imagine that you could even, somebody has to sit and think about the design of the automaton,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So, there is on one side, it is the jewelry which tells you the time, the odd jewelry. That's practically wearable jewelry that you're talking about. So the approach for designing the jewelry, would it be similar to the automaton, or would the story inspiration have some kind of inspiration coming from automaton in your high-end jewelry pieces?
I would say.
If I'm making
for all
sense, what I'm
for
saying.
the automatons, it's like if I can pull a parallel about automatons and poetic complications. It's the same idea. So at the beginning it's a story. Now, when you do automatons, you have the possibility to add a third dimension, which you do not have when you have poetic complications. Because poetic complications, it has to be a watch, wearable, and also you're limited in height, right? So it's 2.5D. We try what we can to create really 3D effects. It's really 3D what we do. But compared to an object, the object has more possibilities. So actually, this allows us to actually go beyond what we could do with a little automaton in a wristwatch. We can go way further. And it's very interesting, by the way, when we talk about that. We say the first midnight planetarium, the idea comes from a table automaton.
Automaton.
Yeah, so we actually went from big to small.
Small.
If you have a look, these automatons at the 18th century, the overlays, they have the planets on sticks. So they turned around the sun,
Correct.
right? And if you look at the watch,
It's
they also have the planets on sticks. So this was the idea, to have the real spheres. And now having this watch and now having the possibilities, we thought, okay, we are ready. We do now an automaton object. And this mécanique d'art, let's say, the arting mechanics, is actually helping us to go back big again. So we went from big to small, and now big, and we added, for example, that the shooting star actually is hidden and it comes out, you
Yes.
know, then it does one tour, then you have the dance of the planets,
Yes.
the music, you know, all these elements which actually are not really possible in the watch.
bravo. Great. And just to make a complication poetic itself is a beautiful journey, I would say. If you would like to say something on that, because complication itself is challenging, but within complication you are introducing poetry. So it's poetic complications. How do you do that? I don't know how one can do that.
I think it's a very good question. I think if the story itself is poetic, it's easy. So we are poets all. So we have many poets, and together we write new poets, new poetry, and then we actually realize this poetry in form of a watch, which is a perfect blending of high jewelry and watchmaking. So actually, it's within the first story. It doesn't fall out of the sky during the project. It has to be there right at the beginning. And when it's there, it's so easy.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you.